In the 16th century, a man called Nyakangwa conquered a narrow strip of territory along the Nile. According to local history, he united the various groups living there into one people, and they became known as the Shilluk. Today, although their territory is part of the modern Sudan, the dynasty founded by Nyakangwa still rules from the royal capital, Bushoda. Protocol sets the royal capital apart from other villages. Nobody can keep chickens here. Women may not give birth. Visitors should take off their shoes and lay down their spears. And there's even a special court language for speaking with the Reth, or king. Every morning, people arrive in Bushoda to seek an audience with the Reth. Etiquette requires them to bring a gift, money or a cow, for example. They arrive early and must be prepared to wait under the watchful gaze of the Reth's bodyguard. This man, Ayang will be the 33rd Reth. The previous Reth died 8 months ago, and Ayang has been chosen by the senior chiefs to be his successor. But he has not yet been installed. The spirit of Nyakangwa must first take possession of him. Ayang must become the embodiment of the founder of the Shilluk. Traditional Shilluk see the Reth as a person around whom their lives revolve. It's the divine presence of Nyakangwa in the Reth which is supposed to give them their purpose for living. And they still trace their roots by reference to the social order established by Nyakangwa. When a Reth dies, the country enters a period of instability and uncertainty. At the death of a king, the spirit of Nyakangwa disappears into the Nile, and the Shilluk say the world is lost. And the world is not fully regained for them until the spirit of Nyakangwa has come to shore in the person of the new Reth. Some months after the death of the previous king, the priests of this village in the north fetch Nyakangwa from the Nile. They then remake this image of him and also one of his tall warrior son, Dak. The priests will parade the effigies, made of bamboo and ostrich feathers, through the villages of the northern Shilluk, retracing the movements of Nyakang and Dak in their conquest of the north of the country. Finally, they'll reach the center. Nyakang will capture the Reth-elect and install him as his representative. But the effigies and the priests cannot begin their journey until all the other preparations are ready. For example, ivory, silver, beads, spears and skins have to be collected for the Reth-elect, each by the particular village made responsible for the task by Nyakangwa. Tomorrow, these men in the southernmost district of the country will go to hunt the antelopes whose skins will adorn the king and other officials on the final day of his installation.
ina ya gida weli nyang ke bur wala de tiang dil man obi tung ki una bi jara jaila tu woni da ba kwa kala ki kanyi ya kala lo ulai gengun ke bakanga ko bai ke mual pau nam ke sa abir yonus
The chief who has called the young men for the hunt has also arranged a dance. This island in the middle of the Nile is a sanctuary for the very rare Gek antelopes. When Nikang stopped here on his journey of conquest, he thought them animals of the greatest beauty, and they've been reserved for royalty ever since. Shilluk commoners are forbidden to hunt them, except these particular villages, before the installation of a new ref. They did eventually succeed in spearing the required number of antelopes. And the chief of the area will take the skins to Poshoda, where they will be kept along with the other precious objects ready for the installation. The Reth-elect waits in the royal capital for the different villagers to fulfill their ritual obligations, meanwhile attending to their disputes.
calling me out in what I was job, but you move out here. I wear a job, I job on your damn. If you are going. I wear a white yellow man idea and I know down. I think I do. I've been father. Young you there.
Ngõ đâu qua tiền nó đi mua.
Abang chúng ta là mà đâu bị lên mà đi.
Đang ngồi như ta lấy qua tiền cái vang ngà tìm đàn đây jam mua cái này vậy. Pero qua tiền là như mua chứ.
Đang ngồi với giáo cái mua. Ô anh nó bên mua cái tiền là coi à wear cái giáo phải tiêu. Giáo coi wear cái bớt khát. Kunenya khát. Ô lâu chắc bên nhau có kunenya khát đâu cái nhau không bên. À để bên nào?
Đây giang cái nào cũng ta cái gì cái gì. Giang
Cả cái gì? Kau koi cái miri. Ya bawa cái miri ya bany. Dia nuna miri kuna bi.
Voilà.
The installation starts when the effigies of Nikango and Dak begin their 10-day journey towards Poshoda. Dak, the tall warrior son, paves the way, while Nikang follows. Just as, according to Shilluk history, Dak led the military raids, while Nikango organized the people into one political unit. Wherever they pass, the people flock to pay homage to the founders of their nation. In every village, a shrine is prepared to receive them. While Nikang rests inside, Dak comes out to dance and cleanse those who ask for blessing. The people sing the praises of Nikang and Dak in songs which record their exploits. The journey is a time of spiritual renewal, part of the regeneration of the whole nation.
استعدوا الليلة غنائية ساحرة من الموسيقى والألحان تضم كوكبة من أفضل الأغاني. فرقة الطونشين جاز باند بقيادة الفنان المبدع مايك أوبو وجوزيف جاك. ماذا ينتظركم؟ فقرات موسيقية وعروض حية. المكان قاعة ملكة الحور النادي المطرية. الزمان 10 من أكتوبر الساعة 2 مساء. الراعي الرسمي للحفل مايكوبو وجوزيف جاك. للاستفسار الرجاء التواصل على الأرقام أسفل الشاشة. كواد واي ميديا القاهرة.
No one should stare at Dak or let him come too close to them. The priests with their hippo whips clear a path for him. The installation of the new Reth will reaffirm the social order and the political identity of the Shilluk, a nation made up of competing localities. The people feel disorder threatens them until New Congo has possessed the king-to-be. So, men must not carry spears, only stalks from the maize fields. And then they are safe to boast of the military might of their own villages and to issue challenges to others. Every Shilluk is a soldier of Nikan, and all the villagers mount a guard of honor for the effigies as they escort them through their locality. Like the crusading soldiers in medieval Europe, the Shilluk saw an intimate connection between military prowess against outsiders and spiritual strength. Historically, they extended their territory by military raids against neighboring tribes. More recently, in the 19th century, they had to defend themselves against slave traders. Today there's peace, but the conflicts of the past have not been forgotten. The journey takes the form of a pilgrimage, retracing the movements of Nikan. The priest must stop wherever he stopped, even if it's only to commemorate a tree under which he shaded himself from the heat of the day. Any pause creates an opportunity for the elders to challenge a rival village.
Aja timi da joy tim do man sa do na ya ga tere chang war chul ya diri ya ma gwara ma ta
Tadi kal ni brand ya, kal ke kal aja na. Bukan kiri kal lagi aja. Bon. Aja kan jadi kiri aja. Dah kira bakal dua.
ya do kan kwale
Kira cengkon, kira cengkon.
da chana ka ka do da chana
Kau kira ceng.
akon gini jam tam
Siang ni bangun ni, mana siang ni? Ure yoru banen kere, wani madan.
awaja dalle kidmana kal kagari jo notin
ko bonya doge kal bonya ge pa wa ako ke chama yang ta da ya la bikian ayanga bainde ko ga danu kirya ge ngi o ko de wa fe ma pa no ko ringa ya yo ko du ngo ko le ngan ki ko de wa ti u ka le yo ma pa do bonya ti ra ko wo ka wa cha do ka
dong ya la bikian pa mo nya
abanyen ba ke no du ngo ya ba ngan kale ya ko kal boy
te war tele nya ga yalla bi kel wa
ala ba pa ke no nyuta no ya bu nya ki ya ba ka da chala pia chala pia wa ba ka kal boy.
In the old days, the Reth led the Shilluk in war and was the final arbiter of their disputes. Today, his role as chief judge has been formalized by the Sudanese government into that of second-class magistrate. But perhaps his most important function was to serve as a focus of political loyalty and national identity, and that he continues to be today. And Dak near the end of their 80-mile journey towards Busholda. One of the last villages they honor is the village where the late Reth is buried. His widows pay homage to Nikango by singing the funeral lament which praises their late husband. After a 10-day journey, the effigies of Nyakang and Dak approach the royal capital. They will halt at Adult, a village 3 miles to the north of Busholda. Here they will prepare for their capture of the Reth elect. On his part, the Reth elect shows his fear of Nyakango by retreating under cover of night to Debalo, a village 3 miles to the south of Busholda. At this stage, people from the north, by tradition, gather to support Nyakango, and people from the south to support the Reth elect. After 3 days, the two will meet in a mock battle, which is the dramatic climax of the installation. Just before his flight to Debalo, Ayang changed his Shilluk bodyguard for a bodyguard of government police. He decided that in the modern world, he needed more than spears to protect him. Traditionally, the Reth elect's stay in Debalo is considered a time of particular danger to him. 3 families hold the kingship in turn, and the 33rd Reth can only come from Ayang own family. One of his brothers would automatically replace him should he be killed or even slightly wounded before his acceptance by Nyakang. There was a rumor that one of them was planning to kill him. It was also said that Ayang wanted to look like a modern leader. On the Reth elect's first evening in Debalo, the chiefs of the southern Shilluk gathered to greet him formally. But things were beginning to go wrong, perhaps because people were afraid of the government police. They were not Shilluk, and were naturally enough unaware of Shilluk custom. After the greetings to the wreath, a man from a particular clan should spear the bull, but there was nobody from the clan present. Eventually, a Land Rover was sent to fetch the missing man, and the bull was killed. But things went from bad to worse. That night, the chiefs did not sleep in Dabalo as custom requires they should. It was alleged that the government police chased them away. Eventually, Kwan Bol, the most knowledgeable of all the chiefs and the master of ceremonies, arrived from Pushoda to sort things out.
Mana ko ya chingi chit ban ya chinga ma ya chin wi bonya ko me ko bon ya chet bon a bonya ya na ma tu ba mu sul chet mana yi ko bon ya chet bon mana ko ku bon ko ba me wuri jaga jaga bon ja ubi ja ubi ja ko chaka ben da gin ti ma nyanga ja ma wi ke bi jaga jaga le yi ko ko mana wa ko ji ya chet bon gina ke jaga jaga ta ko ya ko be ke no ben ma ko gin dong ja
giao trọ để có cái những người như có tu trọ có bên nó có thì giao người ta qua mà cày ở cái cày đi gini nó sao có mà yêu thì cái phải chốt mà ya đường mà phải cày để cô nó phải đi cày đi mấy cái gồ này mana ko ya ko kalian ugalinga kalau ku ni ye gale ye ni pan ku do ke kaja ure ni pa ku ne ya shan bane ba ga bin
sana ja
tal
ya Hamza tal
doi
Eventually, the chiefs managed to organize the necessary preparations, and on the fourth morning of his stay in Dabalo, the Reth-elect supporters from the southern Shilluk began to congregate. Everything was ready for the Reth's departure, except for a few details of protocol which had to be settled by the senior chiefs. The Reth must step over a goat on leaving his temporary home, and the man whose duty it is to hold the goat seems hesitant. Perhaps he hasn't been given the right present. And on leaving Dabalo, the Reth-elect has to step over a bull. It's important that it's facing in the right direction.
أنا ما بسمح لك أخش. أنا ما بسمح واحد يخش. ما تكتب ما تكتب ما تكشف أبدا.
Meanwhile, Nyakanga and his supporters have left their temporary resting place 3 miles to the north of Poshoda and are marching towards the Reth-elect. Gradually, the gap between the two closes. The supporters of the Reth-elect will halt at a dry riverbed believed to mark the very center of Shilluk country, just outside Poshoda. Its name means Unity of the People. Nyakang's army is already drawn up on the other side. Chickens are considered troublesome creatures, and one is held up, perhaps to remind Ayang of all the troublesome people he will have to tolerate. An advance party of Nyakang's army gives the Reth-elect a cow to step over as he crosses the dry riverbed. Finally, a messenger runs back and forth between the Reth-elect and Nyakang carrying messages of scorn between the two. Nyakanga taunts the Wrath-elect by saying that he's angry and will never permit him to enter Pashoda. The Wrath-elect replies that not even Nyakanga can frighten him. When the ritual abuse is over, the mock battle can begin. The two armies edge closer to each other, and Nyakanga and Dak begin their final advance towards the Wrath-elect. Dak captures the Wrath-elect and hands him over to Nyakanga. At the same moment, the two armies begin to hurl their stalks of maize at each other. The battle is a ritual drama whose outcome is predetermined. It involves the whole population in a mock conflict which reinforces the theme of the ceremony, the unity of the Shilluk nation. Wraiths are honoured not primarily because of their own qualities, but because of the office they hold in direct line from Nyakanga. The followers of Nyakanga always defeat the followers of the Wraith. The office is more powerful than the man. Nyakanga leads the Wraith off to his shrine in Pashoda. Here, screened from the gaze of the people, the Wraith will be possessed by Nyakanga, whose spirit will enter into him.
استعدوا الليلة غنائية ساحرة من الموسيقى والألحان تضم كوكبة من أفضل الأغاني. فرقة الطونشين جاز باند بقيادة الفنان المبدع مايك أوبو وجوزيف جاب. ماذا ينتظركم؟ فقرات موسيقية وعروض حية. المكان قاعة ملكة الحور النادي المطرية. الزمان 10 من أكتوبر الساعة 2 مساء. الراعي الرسمي للحفل مايكوبو وجوزيف جاب. للاستفسار الرجاء التواصل على الأرقام أسفل الشاشة. كواد واي ميديا القاهرة.
The effigy returns to the shrine. Water is poured over the new wreath, perhaps in the hope that the rains will be plentiful during his rule. The spiritual climax over, the political finale remains. The wreath spends 2 nights in these 4 houses. He is bathed and shaved, and then dressed up in the silver bracelets, ivory armbands, and antelope skins. On the final day, the chiefs and the senior elders gather beneath the mound. Each chief rises in turn to advise the wreath. This is the last time that they can speak their minds to him. The chief of Nagyar.
Anan tianga bi bero nyin anan ga jurong adu wura wur kenya donga bi ka wa ke ma dong ne yor ki moy do di ma nyara guot donga bi ka wa ka ben ten ne ben ne ka wa nyi chang a ma wa nyi ka dok pin ba nen bi ka doi mer i ba ran mer ka pa nya kwai ka nyu do ka yang pai ka ba ran mer a kwai na mer ching tar bu ngi na nywa le de ka lo yu cha ka mang la no kwai do cha ma men wong Đức cái đồ hùi, quá kì. Đây à, dòng mò cái nút, mò cái thứ thuộc, mò như bên là mình, nè nó cái đòi cái kiện.
The chief of Nun.
Chắc cái bia, đi vào yang men. Đây men, đi đến đâu vậy? Hay đi quay đến lan. Để pin nào begin. Bang ur, nè này, bang ur lal, nè này. Để pin nan, buaya na bu alo je budi karan. Makasih mungkin. Kau ini cek, hotelin, kayak ini bang. Kalau ni tentu ini bang itu. Mấy cái chuyện chắc anh nhang, ôi chú mà cái boy mi, nhang với một cái deal bên, lấy cái gì mà cái dur mà phun, cho nên lo cái này, cái đó này, cái phốt boy, à tao, ai bây giờ cái này, đã nó cái nhang, như thôi, đã cái nào cũng
The last two to speak are the chief of the extreme north and the chief of the extreme south. In the old days, they were the protectors of the country's frontiers. The chief of Momo.
Meg bawat, meg right. Dila gi kobin. Bugi ci dina wana wan nga ñin. O wadu way du ganar, ko ngat right. Ana ben wi dan. Bi je. O tol bi. O yo ko jam da kwai. Kimi mira golle nay. Kimi na yi ci get. Ku ni get. Ya bi goji cekep. Cekep ka. Daga.
The chief of Tonga.
King Ayang. Ilo you know it. Do it. But I knew the thing. They, I check it. I can you go check. About check it. Tell I didn't know, but no check. You might check a cover check. Then work get a cover. Then I get you only. Well, when you copy it, when was it? When I let it on, call when you could tell. I got on with it to give one. Away. If I check a call one. When you come on, room, a very room, room pageant. Room pageant, but again, I'm going to check a pew with, because I got quite loud. My acquaintance, and I need to back a G. Can you call me George? Yeah. Good dear Cornia. Can you have a fun? And are you on your team? You are on your team. You couldn't. Could work it. Yeah, come in. You couldn't. Dan. Book on island. Dan the two women. I got two of them. I got two of them. Two me. Ling mother could. Kai ling mother could. Kai ling mother could. Kapinki. But you're ferry. Not cool.
Finally, the Reth rises to reply.
Ana una por uje ta una tiang pa jana ngani gol be o gadu ni yut gana kay ni jet ka ja tur gay fay o du ni yut gana kay ni jet ka ja ger gay fay da ko du pa una re ni una tiang pa de nya mo gani yo a ko jam gane nya po o yurian gana tiang tiel ya tiela no kay ka mo ne tio ga ma ga tio na gni chwal ga war gen ani tau ga la ngi ma ji jo da chono ma ga ya
In his speech, Ayang threatened to stamp out the purveyors of modern ideas which challenge his traditional authority. Today, several Shilluk are ministers and high officials in the government of the Sudan. Like their government, they want to bring greater development, education and democracy to the country. Ayang must be aware that this will inevitably lead to a decline in his own power and prestige. The increase in educational opportunities is already affecting the traditional social order, based as it is on inherited rank. But Shilluk identity is intricately bound up with Nikyango, and, as his representative, the Reth will continue to provide a unique focus of meaning for his people, for some time to come.
But